Well over 10 years ago, I was on Craigslist and I saw this 1955 low cab forward up in Wonder Valley. I convinced a deacon. He and I went up there and we drugged this thing home. Boy, I was just as happy as if I had good sense. My wife asked me, "What in the world are you going to do with that thing?" I didn't have a clue, nor did I have a care in the world. I love this thing. A few years later, we ended up moving out here to the ranch, and we needed a way to provide supplemental water. So that necessitated a water truck, and the low cab forward became the water truck. I had another deacon that gave me this water tank here, and so we mounted the water tank on the back of the water truck, and it has served us very, very well. I've had a lot of people offer me money for this thing, and I'm just not even interested. And I've had people say, you should paint this. And I don't know. I just really like the history of this thing. And there's something about it that really attracts me to it. And I'm just happy with it. Don't really care that much about the money. God has seemed to look out for my needs well before I ever knew that I needed a water truck. When we take a look at our devotional today, we've got a situation to where we have a group of individuals that are focused on monetary things, on their own personal gain. And then we have one individual, Abraham, our father of faith, that his eyes are focused on the Lord. He knows the Lord is going to take care of him. We'll remember back in the story that there came a situation where the herdsman of Lot and the herdsman of Abraham had some contention, and so they decided to part ways, and Lot looked towards the well-watered plains of Sodom, and he headed in that direction. So greener pastures drew him, and then those city lights began to draw him. Lot found himself right in the middle of that mess before it was too long. There was another individual that looked on Sodom and thought it could be rather lucrative, one of the rivaling kings, and he was extorting money. Sodom decided not to pay the money, so the king came and looted the city, took out Lot and his family. Abraham heard about this, and he got 318 of his men and took back all of the loot, and Lot brought them back. And when he did, there was the king priest Melchizedek that came out, and Abraham offered him the tithes from the spoils. And at this point, the king was willing to just accept the people and give all of the loot, which actually belonged to the people, to Abraham. And Abraham would not accept it. He said, "I'm not going to let it be said that the king made me rich." See, Abraham was a wise man. He knew that all the credit belonged to God. Abraham started out with little, and God gave him much. Abraham went out with 318 men, and God gave him the victory. And what did Abraham do? He turned around and gave tribute to God, gave thanks to the Lord. This is the pattern that we ought to follow, is Abraham. We ought to look to the Lord for everything, knowing that he knows our needs before we even do, and that he's going to take care of us. And we need to, in return, give tribute and honor to God. We have a great and awesome God. Our verse this morning in Genesis 14:20 says, "And blessed be the Most High God, which had delivered thine enemies into thy hand, and he gave him tithes of all." And blessed be the Most High God. That is who he ought to be in our lives, the Most High God. Not the almighty dollar, but the Most High God that can provide for all of our needs, not only here, but into eternity. May God richly bless you. And I hope you have an absolutely wonderful day.